concealer is a makeup product that you use to conceal or hide, meaning the same thing, any imperfections that you have on your face that you are not comfortable with. So it's kind of like cheap plastic surgery. No, just kidding, it's not. But yeah, concealer is makeup that serves kind of like foundation. However, concealer is a little bit more pigmented. Sometimes it's thicker in consistency, just depending on what type of consistency you choose. There is liquid types, there is cream types, and I actually have both of those. And I believe there is one more type. I can't put my finger on it, but I'm gonna go with what I have in my collection because that's what I could show you, that's what I've played with, and that's what I know. So, like I said, concealer will conceal anything that you want to hide, any imperfections that can range anywhere between under eye circles, acne, any age spots, even pores. Now, going through all of these things, I do want to kind of rewind a little bit and talk about primer, because there are primers on the market that have different coloring in them. For example, Smashbox has a purple primer. They have kind of like a peachy pink primer. They have a green primer. Now, if you're somebody like me who has redness on their face, now note that my redness isn't extremely severe where I feel like I need a green primer, but I do have redness. But you can use primers to help a little bit with your skin tone as well. Whereas concealers are more of a heavy duty situation that you apply onto your face because, again, it's a cream or liquid that is highly pigmented. A primer is not highly pigmented. It has a tint that will help reduce any of those skin pigmentation situations or kind of like even out your skin tone, but it's not gonna cover, okay? So with concealer, there are green concealers, there are orange ones, purple ones, yellow. Shoot, did I like say that already? Okay, well, pretty much the concealers that I am familiar with are green concealers and yellow concealers, and then regular concealer, and then brightening concealers. Now, I'm going to just go ahead and start showing you what I have and how I put them on myself. But actually, before I do that, I want to show you a little bit about the color wheel or how this color situation works. Now, when I first went to the drugstore, I'm like, why would I put green concealer on my face? I'm not a witch, or I don't want to look like a witch, so what's going on here? Well, based on the color wheel, as you can see, green is right across from red, meaning it cancels out each other, meaning it kind of diffuses the other color, okay? So if you have a pimple that is extremely red, like one that I have, oh shoot, where'd it go? Oh, right here. I forgot where I had it because I've covered it. And I have a red pimple here on the upper part of my lip, but by putting green concealer on top of that, it cancels out that red, which will kind of diffuse it. So it makes it ready for you to apply your foundation or a regular concealer on top of that green. Get what I'm saying? So it's going to cover it. As you can also see on the color wheel, let me look at my color wheel. As you can also see on your color wheel, there is the purple right across from yellow. Now, your under eye area usually can be purple or bluish for your dark circles. So there is where you want to use a concealer that is going to cover that purple underneath. So for purple, you're going to use yellow. If your under eye area is a little bit more blue, as you can see in the color wheel, the color across from the blue is in orange. So with that, you would use something more salmony. Okay, not more of a yellow, but more like an orangey salmon color. So kind of like a mixture between orange and yellow, okay? So if you mix, you know, the yellow and the orange, obviously you're gonna get salmon. And as you can see, the colors that are straight across from the yellow and orange are the purple and blue. So that's kind of like how it works pretty much the color across from the wheel is going to cancel out the color across the wheel. Did I lose you? But anyway, going back to the concealer. So for acne, for any redness around the nose area, you want to use a green concealer. And the concealer that I'm familiar with is my NYX concealer. These are extremely affordable if you just want to start playing around with, you know, different color concealers. I think that this is a great one to pick up. This green concealer, as you can see in the demonstration, I applied it on my acne. And then, like I mentioned earlier, I do have some redness in my cheek area. So what I like to do is I like to kind of warm up the product and just smear it anywhere that I have any redness. But I kind of smeared it out where it's not thick. It's just kind of like a very thin layer on my red area. So that's what I do with green. That's what's going to cover up your red. Now moving on to your under eye area. My under eye area isn't very problematic for me. I get pretty good sleep, so I feel like I don't need extreme coverage under there. But for the purposes of this video, I decided to go ahead and use the yellow concealer under my eye area. And for the yellow concealer, again, it's another NYX product, and it's a yellow concealer that comes in a little jar. Again, very affordable if you want to play around with colored concealers. I would definitely check them out. And I believe that Physicians Formula in the drugstore also carries colored concealers. So I would definitely check that out as well. Now, something that I like to do after I've applied my colored concealers is I do like to go in with my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. The reason why I like to go in with this after is because I know this baby is going to cover everything, like everything, okay? So I apply this one right over the green, right over the yellow, and it just kind of blends everything out. Now, I know that a lot of people do use concealer as a foundation, but you want to be careful with that and really blend out everything. Otherwise, you're just going to look like a little blotchy mess, and you don't want to do that. So this is a step that I like to take, and this is the type of concealer that I like to use, especially on my under eye area if I am having a troublesome time or over any acne after I've applied my green concealer. This is my go-to concealer for that, and I am actually semi-new. I'm a couple months new to this concealer, and I am just loving it. I don't know where the heck I had been, but this concealer does wonders. It doesn't crease. It seriously like stays in place and does not come off until you take it off. Now, another concealer that I wanted to talk to you guys about is this Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer. This concealer I use as a highlight under my eye area and anywhere that I want to highlight on my face. I do not use this to cover up any dark circles. I do not use this to cover up any redness, like pimple-wise or anything like that, because I feel that this is more of a brightening type of concealer, and because the consistency is very thin but pigmented, it's perfect to highlight, and it blends like a dream with the Beauty Blender. You just apply this under your eye as a triangular shape because we all want to do that Kim K thing, you know? And then you just start, with the Beauty Blender, you just start blending it away, and it blends so pretty. Not only that, but I feel like it does something with my pores. Seriously, it like pores be gone. Like pores be gone. Like with this thing, I love it. I've already purchased, probably this is like my third one. After I found this one, I am no longer going back to any other concealer. And the concealer that I used before, and I actually use it in a tutorial of mine, is this Revlon one. But this one here isn't for highlighting. This one is more on the spot type of treatment concealer. But I definitely prefer using my MAC Pro Longwear for that. Now, the last concealer that I want to show you guys is actually in this little palette here. There are many palettes in the drugstore that you can find, and also high-end, of course. High-end has everything, but we all want to go for that drugstore just to get started and see how things work out. So for me, I ended up having this e.l.f. Complete Coverage Concealer, and as you can see, it has a few colors in here, okay? But this concealer it's a tad waxy, okay? So it's like a cream wax. So this one I like to use to sculpt out my eyebrows. So if I want to have like an on-point eyebrow, this is the concealer that I use because it does great underneath because it's thick enough, but it's waxy If you know, I don't know, like it's just waxy, so it's perfect for applying your highlight afterwards because the highlight sticks very nicely on to the product. So that's what I like to use this type of concealer for. Any concealer that's creamy, waxy is great to like carve out those brows. I wouldn't necessarily use it on top of any acne because it has that waxy consistency. I don't want to add anything like that that's going to irritate that pimple and make it larger. I want to use something that's going to not have too much of an oil base. It's not going to make me oily in areas where I have acne because that's probably one of the reasons why my acne is there, because my face is a little bit oily. So you don't want to irritate it. So for that concealer, palette concealers, usually I like them in as a brow sculpting type of situation. Of course, after you've applied your concealers, you've done your foundation, you want to set everything, and you want to set everything with a powder. Now for me, I like to use my e.l.f. HD powder. I am unfortunately out of it, and I do have the little box, but it's over there and I'm not going to go get it. But I like to use that to set my under eye area because it's a light type of powder and it's HD, so I don't know, I feel like that HD just gives it that extra, you know, like that you need, you know, for your makeup. But if I don't have that on hand, as I don't right now because I'm out of it, I do like to use my Rimmel Stay Matte powder. This one I actually use for my whole face. If you use this in the under eye area, I do find that it can get cakey, so I really don't like it for this. I really need to restock on that e.l.f. powder. But for everything else, like the T-zone area and kind of to touch up throughout the day, this is a great powder to use to set also your concealer on any areas around the face. And that is all for today, guys. I do hope that this concealer how-to 101 video was pretty good. It is my first one, and I'm just excited to go ahead and start doing more how-to videos. If there is something that you want to see a how-to video on, or kind of like a 101 situation type of video, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. That both is at Exquisite Glow. And I hope that you are having a lovely day. I will see you in the next one. Bye.